Hello, hi, this is Bhavna from India Today. Welcome, Sue and Jin Ha on India Today. How are you?
I'm
Good,
good, thank
thanks.
you.
I watched the second season entirely, and I must say that this is a season where I found more interesting stuffs to sort of like look at, and I really enjoyed it. So, firstly, a huge
Well,
congratulations
thank you
on
so
that.
much.
Thank you.
Sue, for you, if you had to describe this season for me in two words, how would you do that? Just two words.
Uh, Everything colliding.
Okay, everything colliding.
That's
Yeah,
good.
now that I think about it. What
Yeah.
about you, Jinha, though? If you had to describe Solomon to me in this season, particularly in three words, how would you do that?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's hard.
I love how specific this is. Okay, three words. I'm gonna try not to take up your entire time. Let's say uh, bottom, Phoenix, bottom, Phoenix, smoke.
Wow, I love it. But also, but so I really want to know from you. It is always challenging, to sort of have a book, have a material already in place, but to adapt it into a series, right? Which also means that there are certain creative liberties that you have to take to be able to sort of bring it to celluloid or bring it to screen. But where do you draw a line that, okay, fine, this is something that I want to take a creative liberty about? Because you know that books fans of book will always come at you when they see what is there on screen. So how do you sort of decide and take those decisions?
That's a great question. I think one of the things that's really important is just if you know that you're protecting the soul and the spirit of a book that you love. One, actually, the most important thing is do you love the book? Because if you love the book, you will not do harm, or you will try not to do harm. And because so many of us came to this really loving the book and really wanted to honor and respect it, we knew that our decisions were going to be for the good of the adaptation. I really trusted that.
And it has been so far so good, I would say. But Jinha, for Solomon's character this season especially, I feel like uh, a lot of it is layered because in the first season he was still trying to grapple with the generational trauma. This time around he turns around and is like more of a rebellion in ways. I mean, if I look at it from that prism, I want to know how do you channelize all those feelings and all those emotions, because it's not that rebellion and nature is something that all of us as generation can sort of relate to it. how
Yeah,
how do you channelize that?
that's exactly it. How any argument with our parents or adult figures who tell us it's got to be like this, and we say, well, I think it's got to be like this. It's like that's about as simple as it can get. But it's that even the X is X and Y is Y, and we're like, well, no, I think it's different. That's the disconnect that I think can't help but happen between generations, let alone two generations between Sunja and Solomon. And yeah, in that first episode, we see him letting go and sort of saying, I can't, I release myself from the pressure or the burden of your experiences and your weight. But I also think though, I think he's trying to run from something, but I don't think he knows that he can't. I don't think he understands yet that, in fact, that there is no escaping that actually. And
Yeah.
maybe now I'm going too far, but maybe it's he has to turn and face it, at one point. But in season two, we see
No,
him.
I
Sorry.
I completely agree. What I really liked about this entire season, and especially the dynamics between you and Sanja, was the fact that both of these generation deal with things so differently. A scene in the mart where you are shouting at someone for the racial comment that he makes, while Sanja is more like, calm down. It's
Yeah.
okay. We should let it go.
You know what? I remember with that specific scene in the grocery store. Sue is also, in addition to being a brilliant writer and showrunner, she's very in the mud with us, day to day, on set almost every day when you're yeah. And I remember that scene and the conversations that we were having about it were that it needs to build. It needs to start from like Solomon can't know that he's going to go there at the end. Nobody knows that he's going to go there, even him. But it's everything that's building up for him at that moment, because by that point he's lost the funding for his new
Yeah.
venture fund. He's coming off of the end of season 1 too, where there's a lot of professional crashing and also the loss of Hana as well. All of that was, for me, coming into focus for him in that moment of like, he's about to explode, but the way he copes with that usually is like when he stares at the cups and he's just kind of dead. That's where he would prefer to be. That's his sort of what he's familiar with. But then it's suddenly this unexpected altercation with this the person at the deli that, surprising him, I think even, it really sparks him. And I forget your question, but yeah.
No, but I think you answered it. How do you
Okay.
sort of like prepare yourself for roles like that? But I think I don't have
Injustice,
too much time.
experiences of justice and experiences of racism and microaggressions throughout our lives. From your questions, like, you get it. I understand.
I mean, we all come from a place where we have seen racial discrimination. So if we don't get it, who will? Thank you so much and all the very best.